Hey investors, welcome to another episode of our series Journey to 10 Crore by vishalvealthview. Uh, Last 1 week might have been hard for some of you folks as markets have been pretty volatile. Nifty is down almost 7 to 8%, and so is my portfolio. I think I almost lost 4 to 5 lakhs in last 1 or 2 week from September. But it is part and parcel of life, and this is the risk that we have to deal with because we are investing in equity market. So, डरिएगा नहीं. This is normal. Markets will be back up 1 year, 2 years from now, and it will be all right. So, just hang on, and that's all we can do. In today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing one of my subscriber portfolio. So, without wasting much time, let's just jump right into that discussion. So before we jump into the discussion, if you want me to review your portfolio, I have added my mail in the description. You can send me your portfolio Excel sheets over the mail. Along with that, please tell me your goals that you have in mind for your life so that whenever I'm giving you a review, it also aligns with your goal. So यहाँ पे let's talk about Mr. Gupta. Mr. Gupta is a 19-year-old college student studying engineering right now. So first of all, kudos. If you have started investing in 19 years old, you have a long amount of time where you can compound your wealth. So it's a really good start. Now, Mr. Gupta did not give me any specific goal in the mail. मैं assume कर रहा हूँ Mr. Gupta's goal is to build wealth over long term. अगर अपन पोर्टफोलियो की समरी देखें तो he has almost 37% or 38% in small cap. That means he is pretty risk. Uh, he's pretty aggressive in his risk profile. And he has some amount of capital, almost 20% in mid cap, large cap, and large and mid cap, which I would say almost 45% of his portfolio is in large and mid cap and flexi cap, and almost 50% in thematic and small cap. So I think the philosophy that he's trying to maintain is आधा पैसा मैं थोड़ा large mid cap में preserve करूँगा, and आधा पैसा I'll try to invest in thematic and small cap funds. Apart from that, Mr. Gupta has almost 4K in flexi cap SIPs, 2K in mid cap SIP, 2K in large cap SIP, 1K in small cap SIP, and 1K in focus SIP. On the right hand side of the screen, you can see all the SIPs that Mr. Gupta has started. Now, one thing that I do find weird is the equities in which Mr. Gupta has invested is not uh, keeping his SIPs in that, and he built a new position in Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund and started a new SIP of almost 4,000. Now, it seems to me that initially when Mr. Gupta started investing, he was chasing after returns. And now Mr. Gupta is trying to chase after stability, which Parag Parikh is offering. So, what's my review on this particular portfolio? First of all, I think there is a huge amount of overlap between the equities that are present in these mutual funds. So, for an example, I've checked the overlap between ICICI Prudential Blue Chip and Nippon India Growth Fund. Two of these mutual fund are part of Mr. Gupta's portfolio. And आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, there's almost 20% overlap in these large cap equities. These are large cap equities. And they have almost 11 common stocks already present. And so this is something that you need to keep in mind, like when you're investing in mutual fund जो कि same category को belong करते हैं, you're trying to at least have that level of diversification so that both of them mutual fund have different stocks. Otherwise, what's the point of investing your money at two different places? Second is, I think Mr. Gupta has over diversified his portfolio across multiple mutual funds. He has more than nine mutual fund in his portfolio, 9 or 10 mutual fund in his portfolio, and I don't think he'll be able to manage that portfolio over a long period of time because आपको उनके performance track करना पड़ेगा हर साल, and you also have to make a decision whether I should keep on investing money in that. So that's why I think over long term, this particular portfolio would be really hard to manage. Third is some of the funds in which Mr. Gupta has invested in is not even beating the benchmark. For example, यहाँ पे मैंने Access Small Cap Direct Growth, which is the mutual fund that Mr. Gupta has some amount of position in. When I compared it with the benchmark result of equity small cap, which is just the small cap index, it's not even beating the benchmark. And Mr. Gupta is paying almost 0.7% or 0.8% expense ratio on this investment. So this is a money losing scenario for him. Now, I think I'm also invested in this particular equity, but this is something that you should be aware about and you should consider if you are trying to maintain this position. So, what are my recommendations to Mr. Gupta and this portfolio? So, I'm assuming Mr. Gupta's goal is wealth building, and he does not have any immediate goal in 1 year or 2 year for college education or for buying a house or things like that. So, on the basis of this assumption, I would recommend him to get rid of funds that are not beating benchmark and not start investing and keep on investing in those mutual fund and use index instead of that. Second recommendation, reduce the number of funds or the places where money is going to be less than or equal to 5, because that way it will be easier for you to manage as well. And you'll have sufficient amount of diversification in 5 funds. Third is, I'll specifically recommend to get rid of commodities fund. Now, some folks have an opinion that they generate really good amount of return, but I do not like commodities in or equities that are reliant on commodities, because I cannot predict commodity prices, and that's why it's really hard for me to predict their sales and their revenue. And there's a weird relation in commodity. Like, if the supply is high, the demand goes down, and if the demand is high, the supply goes down. You are never in a position where you can have high demand, you can control the supply, and you can ask high price for it. It's never the case. Like, if the demand is increasing, you'll start taking out more commodities from the earth, or the companies will go and fetch more minerals. So I don't understand the investing philosophy in commodities. That's why I like stay away from them. So that's why I'll also recommend you to do that. If you have your own philosophy why you're investing in commodities front, please comment down in this video, and I'll also like to learn about it. Uh, Again, make sure you have less than 5 SIPs so that you can track them, you can understand where your money is going, and it's a manageable thing for you. And fifth is, any capital that you need before 4 years, make sure they are not invested in thematic funds. I've seen in the portfolio there are almost 20% allocation to thematic fund, which Mr. Gupta is using for high risk investments to generate extra result. But keep that in mind, if you need that money in 4 or 5 years, it's a risk. It's a risk that you're taking with yourself, because thematic funds can go in any direction for a long period of time, and you cannot expect what's going to happen with them. So this was the review of Mr. Gupta's portfolio. If you want me to review your portfolio, please send me a mail on the email attached in the description below. Also, do like and subscribe because it helps support this channel. Bye bye. See you around.